BYDFi is a crypto exchange on desktop and mobile where you can spot trade, futures trade, use leverage tokens, and copy the trades of top traders. If you sign up with the link in the description, you get a free $100 when you deposit $100. There's hundreds of crypto available on their spot exchange, as well as a free test account so you can practice futures trading without getting wrecked. BYDFi. Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at pretty much everything. I've been away for a few days, you know, sometimes it just has to happen, birthdays and stuff like that. It wasn't my birthday, by the way, but yeah, just big birthday party. Right, so let's get started, shall we, on traditional markets, starting with Euro. So Euro's built a base so far on the 4 hourly above the major area of resistance, that 112. So we hit all those targets. Unbelievable, to be honest with you, the power on the Euro here. I suppose on a fundamental basis, it's not surprising, with the way that central banks are deciding to raise rates and the Fed pause. So this would be what you'd expect, and so maybe this is just the new future for the rest of the year, unless of course Fed decide to raise rates or ECB decide to stop and pause. This could quite easily be a continuation of the trend generally over the rest of this year, maybe even longer. No, that's not going to be without sort of, peaks and troughs. We've seen that over here, but generally the trend is still up. The next major level on this one is going to be all the way up towards 115. So if that's the case, you'd only expect the Dixie to go down because the pound is good against the dollar. The pound is also generally good against the euro. Doesn't look particularly good today, but it was the other day. Still a strong trend, so looking to get this picked up and continue up. So all of that is good. So Forex favours upside in traditional markets. So let's have a look at, I suppose the S&P isn't open yet, but just from what we see of the S&P on its closure on Friday, yeah, we got quite close to hitting this top. And I say it's a top, it's the next major level of resistance. So talking 4,550. A little front run on that one, but I expect it to get picked up so long as we're above this Bollinger Band Center on this daily here. Talking 4,420, or probably even lower than that. We can probably sustain getting picked up around 4,380. But generally speaking, all around these levels, 4,300 even, there's still just another opportunity to buy the dip for more peaks to come on stocks. Individual stocks can be looked at on an individual basis, but I'm relatively bullish on a few. Obviously, the AI and tech sector is pretty good, but I've bailed out on those and I've moved into, commodities, minings and things like that, because we've got this Glencore here anyway. I won't bother sort of talking about stocks individually. That's probably for another video altogether. But one of the main reasons I'm bullish on that particular stock is because I think that the gold has got a bit further to go, as are the rest of commodities. You can already see that oil is back up into the 70s, and we've got our gold and silver sort of trending up, about to incur a golden cross over here on the 4 hourly. So that would be a retest potentially of around 1940. Bottom of the Bollinger Band, basically a double golden cross incoming soon on this 4 hourly. So fair amount of support right down there, looking for a buy the dip on gold. And me and gold and my expectations of Bitcoin and gold, they're not perfectly correlated, but they have been the better pair for the most part of this year. So I expect that to remain the same. Money flow index is quite down low here on gold, so I'll be looking for another pullback on gold down to this level and then buy the dip and pick back up. So with traditional markets all still looking good, so the story hasn't changed for traditional markets, all exactly the same as it's been for ages now. Maybe Bitcoin's going to feel some bounce quite soon. And also altcoins are in a different they're in a different league at the moment, thanks to the SEC and XRP. So for Bitcoin, it's relatively simple. We've come up, we've gone sideways. Look at this 4 hourly chart. Sideways, very, very boring. But yet to retest a 200 exponential for a golden cross retest, which is roughly between 29,550 for their exponential or 29,700. So that is the exponential. So between that area, this is where I'll be looking for a reaction, a buy the dip reaction. We do have a short signal here on the 4 hourly, which is something to think about. That short signal could easily take us down here. Closures below here on the 4 hourly would probably see a deeper pullback now towards 28,500, and then increments down by $1,000 a piece. But until we see that, I would expect that this is probably the bounce zone. 29,550, 29,007. That's basically it. And yeah, pretty good. So thinking about altcoins, it's still the same old deal for Ethereum, which is actually at this stage now a slightly better chart on the 4-hourly than Bitcoin. Slightly better. No short signal on this bad boy. We've already had our golden crosses retested. We came up to the top of the range, which is the 2,000, which is, I keep stressing to everybody on the Patreon streams and just generally as much as I can. You can't really look for major continuation on altcoins until we start to build a base above 2,000 for Ethereum, and we haven't yet done that. We've got a rejection on it, which is fine. You got a rejection, that's fine. We're still looking at a bullish chart here on the 4-hourly, but we have got a rejection on it, so we can't get immediately bullish on altcoins. However, dollar cost averaging into altcoins has been my preference over the last 3, maybe even 4 weeks now. Even setting up trading bots has been a decent call, to be honest with you. So now what we're looking for is, I am actually generally looking for continuation despite being below 2,000. The SEC and the XRP scenario has been pretty good. XRP came all the way up to the top of the range, and now we're floating in the center of the range. We're not broken down, so XRP is looking quite good. Again, this has all been part of the plan for ages for XRP, with or without the SEC. Come out of here, consolidate around a 200 simple, exponential, wherever, and then get ready to move again between 60 and 90 cents, which is where we've gone. So, this is something I always try to stress to people. Look, whether it's FTX or it's the SEC or it's some other thing floating around, the fundamentals, if that's what you want to call it, or the FUD, or even the good news, is just a blip on the overall analysis based on the chart. Charts can't say to you this is going to do a 100x, but charts can generally point you in the right direction as far as risk and reward is concerned, and the risk to reward has always been good for XRP. I believe the risk to reward to be good on most altcoins of significance around this level and lower, as it is still good for Bitcoin and still even for traditional markets. So if there's anything to take away from just learning and using TA, it's the risk and reward factor. Yeah, that is basically the main thing that we should take away from these charts. Now, right now, obviously for XRP, the risk to reward on the short term is not particularly good. We're in the center of the sell zone. All of this was a sell zone between 60 and 90, so we're in the center of the sell zone. But the closer we get down towards the 200 exponential again on a daily, which currently sits down here at 48 cents, but ideally over the next week or two, we'll see those rise above 50, which is where I would be more inclined to say that that's like a really, really good support for continuation. If we can hit that level, then we'll be looking for that to move up. Now XRP might be the leader of this last little alt rally that we've got, so Ethereum taking a back seat as the leader, and it's the only reason it has moved is again because of the SEC, and then suddenly everybody thought, oh, altcoins, they couldn't even, SEC couldn't even deal with Ripple. How are they going to deal with all these other coins and the 2 major exchanges around? How are they going to do it? So a bit more confidence has sort of fallen back into this market now, because the SEC basically couldn't get what they wanted from XRP, despite a very long drawn out court case. So, like I say, stand back, respect what we see. 4-year market cycle for Bitcoin. XRP basically has its own 4-year market cycle. It runs in a different way. I expect XRP to be honest, probably it wouldn't surprise me to be one of the top performers of this year now. Not because of the SEC, but generally because it's broken out of its major downtrend where it normally tries to print a new all-time high, or at least a new local high, which for XRP this time around is going to be right $2. But breaking $2, you might even see some really bullish moves to a new all-time high this year. And that sounds crazy because it's XRP, but that's what it wants to do, generally speaking. I'm not saying it's going to do that, but that's generally what it wants to do. So I'm going to leave it with you there. A bit of a rambling, long, drawn-out video, but long story short, we are looking good. We've got a live stream tonight if you want to join us for that. We can finish off with the Bitcoin dominance as we're still floating around that 50. We're getting a death cross printed at the moment on the 4-hourly, obviously a short signal. This is a slightly contrived chart because of what happened, but it still looks like it wants to push down further to around 48%, so 48.5% dominance. And that would be good. In fact, just before we do go, as we've been here and you've made it towards this portion of the video, we'll have a look at the total market cap too. So everything excluding Bitcoin. We didn't get the pump signal, but we are above all major moving averages on the daily. That's a good sign. No golden cross on the exponentials, but we do have one on the simples. Do we? No, we don't. Nah, not quite yet. So not massively bullish as far as trend is concerned on the daily, but the 4 hourly is quite bullish, so it came down for a golden cross retest. We're above all major moving averages. We're consolidating, so we might see ourselves pull back a little bit on altcoins and everything. And if anything, we'll be looking to buy a dip generally on the next 4, but roughly around 4% on this particular chart. And that will obviously not be 4% on all altcoins. Some will, some won't. I'm generally bullish, as you all know, on all these markets until further notice. I don't see any reason for a major reversal immediately, like this week on the dollar. I don't expect to break down on the euro or the S&P or gold. I'll just be looking for buy the dips on pretty much all markets. And we will see where these new highs will take us over the next few weeks. Right, thanks for watching. I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.